Given the times, the rise in the number of people working from home has become enormous. And when working from home became the norm, people's couches became their offices. However, it didn't take long before people realized that that working environment was not ideal. Number one, it gets uncomfortable when you're sitting on a couch all day, hovered over your laptop. Number two, and probably the most apparent, is the number of distractions that you can face when trying to work from the living room in your house. Even if you don't have distractions at home, you'll probably create some out of procrastination to do your work. So if you do plan on continuing to work from home, the answer to staying focused is to create a designated area for your home office, which many people have done. Because this office is in your own home, it has created the opportunity for you to make your working space look the way you always wanted it to look. So today, I'm going to share with you my favorite design theme for a home office, and that is the dark and bold look. This is a very sophisticated and charming style that leans in the masculine direction. When you walk into this style office, you immediately feel power from the ambiance in the room. While you're sitting down and working in this environment, you'll feel a sense of confidence, you'll feel conviction in your decisions and work completed during the day. The best way of describing this style is that it makes you feel like a boss. Now, typically, the rest of your home is not going to be designed in this fashion or this color scheme. So it makes your office feel like a very unique space within your home. When you wake up in the morning and you grab your coffee or your tea and you enter this room, your mind will know that it's time to get to work. A quick tip is that if it's possible, pick a room for your office that has a window or some type of natural sunlight. The reason why is because we're setting up a very dark scheme here. And although we want it to feel moody, we don't want it to feel like a depressing dungeon. So where do we start in creating this office? The first place is going to be choosing paint color for the walls. My personal favorites are black, dark gray, forest green, and dark blue. Now, of course, when you go to a paint store and you ask for any of these general termed colors, the paint store is probably going to have 5 of each, meaning they'll have 5 blues that could be considered a dark blue, 5 greens that could be considered a forest green, or 5 grays, etc. Ultimately, you can choose what you would like here. My only point of advice is to remember that the way a paint color looks on a sample card or a sample swab does not necessarily mean that's the way it's going to look on your wall. So what I would do is take a photo with you of a room that you like, the color scheme that you like. You might even take a screenshot from this video here and take it into the paint store. Show it to the person that works there and see if they can recreate it and mix that color, or at least direct you to the hue that you're looking for. By the way, if you're feeling bold and you really want to commit to this design scheme, feel free to paint the ceiling as well. Standard practice is that people leave the ceiling white as they paint the rest of the room, but with this dark color scheme, painting the ceiling can really bring up the level of elegance in the room. Next, the center of a great office is a great desk. A nice desk does not have to be expensive. You can find a desk on Amazon, Wayfair, or Overstock that will do just fine. Personally, I lean towards wooden desks, and the only thing I'm looking for is that the patterns and textures within the wood are interesting and feel authentic. Sometimes inexpensive desks will have a plastic or composite look to them. That's not what we want. As far as how large of a desk and what shape you should have, I would balance this off of room size. If you have a small office, choose a desk that seems lighter in weight. The style of having a tabletop and 4 legs would do just fine, meaning you can see through the bottom half of the desk when looking at it. If you have a large office, feel free to grab a heavier looking desk, one that has the shape of a full block. If you have room in your office, you might want to entertain adding some chairs. This could be a side chair or the traditional setup of 2 chairs facing the desk. What will really set the chairs apart is if they are made of organic or natural materials. Think leather, suede, or bold cloth materials that really add depth to the feel of the room. Remember that we're walking a fine line of making our office feel too corporate or modern when designing with dark colors. So these natural materials are going to help balance that out. While on the topic of balancing a room, textures and layers are a perfect option. How can we do this in an office? Well, an easy way would be adding a rug. Pick something that is interesting, either it has a pattern or woven in a cool way, or it's plush. This will both soften the room and create visual balance to a plain floor. Personal preference: if your flooring is light, grab a dark rug. If your flooring is dark, grab a lighter rug. The next point of advice is something that I say in almost every single one of my videos, and that is add a plant. Add some sort of botanical. Larger leaf plants look really good with this dark color scheme if you're wondering what to get. Here are some examples: birds of paradise, fig plants, elephant ears, Swiss cheese plants, or palms. Pick one or two, they're all great. Add it to the corner of your office. We already spoke about having a window or some type of natural light, but adding additional light, and especially additional light fixtures, can really make the room interesting. If you have a standard ceiling fan or a standard ceiling light, consider replacing it with a chandelier. This one replacement alone can completely change the tone of your office. I'm not talking about crystallized ballroom style chandeliers here. We're thinking brass, copper, iron, wood, steel, something that adds edge to the room, that almost puts you in touch with your inner Viking. It's a dominant addition, but where better to put it than in a space that you plan to dominate your day? Finally, adding touches of gold, brass, or copper. That burnt yellow tone looks great against the paint colors I mentioned earlier. You can incorporate it through accessories and small decorations you have in your office. Things you might consider having in this color could be picture frames, small statues, lamps, vases, or paperweights that go on your desk. Hopefully this gets you off to a good start with creating your dark and bold office. There's so much that can be done when talking about any of these room makeovers that it would be very difficult to give you exact examples of every single thing that I mentioned. But at least you have a solid foundation to work with. And the good part about it is that when you're not boxed into a strict list of items to complete, it allows for your own personal creativity, and it allows you to add the things that you like. So there you have it. See you next time.